just play a pop song, singing to that highway song. Got a little naive smile, the kind that drives you out. Nothing like playing with fire, brings the boy to life. Beat you with a fuse you light, baby girl, you're dynamite. You made my day when you walked and sat down beside me, whispered with your eyes, let's go. You made me say, what's your name, girl, you're lonely. Can I call you if I ever go down this road? And I can't seem to find the thing I want.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
14:20 in the morning, 14 minutes and 20 seconds worth of sports talk to get you through your daily commute. Hot takes, recaps, best bets, and a little humor to get your day going in the right direction. Sit back, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. All right, 14:20 in the morning for this June the 21st, 2023, the first day of the first official day of summer, I guess. Today's show is brought to you by Caldera Lab and CalderaLab.com, the best in men's skincare. Keep that youthful exuberance in your face all summer long or all winter long, where it might be, by going to CalderaLab.com and using promo code 1420LAB for 20% off the best in men's skincare on the market out there today. Go there at CalderaLab.com and make the skin look great, like I said, all season long. Thank you for making us a part of your morning each and every morning here at 14:20 in the morning. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com and click on links for some great podcasts, great articles on every sport you could possibly think of under the sun at bellyupsports.com. Don't look now, but the Major League Baseball season is only about a week away from being the midway point, and there's a lot of mid-market to small market teams that are in the hunt for the division lead. It's a great thing for baseball. Low payroll teams look like they might be onto something a little bit. We talked about this a week or so ago, that maybe some large market teams might want to take a bit of a page out of some of these other teams' book because they have a shot at doing some damage and not spending a bunch of money. You have the Tampa Bay Rays and the Baltimore Orioles who are battling right now, actually, in the American League East hunt. You have the Cincinnati Reds. Yes, the Cincinnati Reds. You heard it here. They are in first place in the National League Central, a weak division, but nonetheless, the Reds are relevant right now, winners of 10 in a row, and that's a good thing for baseball. And out west, you have the you have the Arizona Diamondbacks in first place by, I think, 2.5 games over they're in first place in the American League or the National League West, which was unheard of considering you have the big spenders out there. You add in Miami leading the National League wildcard race. It looks like it's time for parity right across baseball and a chance for some small market teams to maybe make things interesting going into the dog days of summer, into August, and hopefully into September, which might make things a little bit more interesting for baseball fans right across baseball. You look at Baltimore and Tampa Bay; they have a combined payroll of $143 million. That's a far shy less than the $280 million that my New York Yankees are spending this year, and look for them to kind of maybe spend a little bit more money at the deadline. I think I got a little bit of a thought on what's going to happen there. But you look at that $212 million Toronto Blue Jays who are playing right now. They're playing not great baseball, so you have a two-team payroll of $143 million with Baltimore and with Tampa, a far stretch from behind the New York Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays. You have the $91 million, and you have the $91 million Cincinnati Reds. $25 million of that's going to Joey Votto, who just got back in the lineup. So basically, my math is correct. You have a $66 million payroll team with the Cincinnati Reds, winners of 10 in a row, leading the National League Central, and you have the $160 million St. Louis Cardinals and the $182 million Cubs, a far stretch behind that $66 million Reds team who's playing some great baseball right now, winning 10 in a row no matter what division you're in, what league you're in, what you're doing. Winning 10 in a row is tough. Everything has to be going on all cylinders. And for the Cincinnati Reds to be doing this right now is quite remarkable considering everybody had them losing. Well, they lost 100-plus games last year. And I think this is the first time in over 100 years that a team who lost over 100 games the previous season come back and do the damage they're doing now and winning 10 in a row. So it's quite nice to see that. And then you have the $114 million Arizona Diamondbacks ahead of the $246 million payroll of the San Diego Padres and the $228 million payroll of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So it's nice to see some teams doing it the right way, spending money where it should be spent, getting rid of some payroll here and there, and doing things. You wonder when other teams are going to realize that you don't need to spend $250 million, $300 million, or even better, $340 million like the poor little Mets are doing out there in Flushing, Queens. $344 million to be exact. The Mets are spending. I think they're fourth or fifth in the division. They're in the national. They're fourth in the National League East. 6.5 games under 500, I think it is right now. So it's quite remarkable to see teams that are doing that and seeing teams spending all that money, not having a bunch of success. Yes, there are teams. I think it's the Texas Rangers who are 9th in payroll and the Atlanta Braves who are 8th in payroll. Yes, they're leading their respective divisions, but it's nice to see some other teams that don't normally spend a bunch of money being in a spot right now. Like I said, when you're getting into the halfway point of the season, that they're giving themselves a chance to do some damage and keeping their fan bases interested. I know World Series champions aren't won on the first day of summer 2023. I know that Cinderella never goes home with the glass slipper. It never really works out that way come October, but for baseball fans, I think it's great to see. It's great to see more fans be engaged. It's great for other teams to be getting a little bit of publicity and a little bit of press instead of hearing about how bad the Yankees are doing, how bad the Jays are doing, how bad the Dodgers are doing. And the Dodgers actually, it was nice to see Clayton Kershaw last night, 7 scoreless against the freeway series against the Anaheim Angels. Great to see Kershaw having a game he did last night. Eventually, you won't be able to watch that guy pitch to that level anymore. So every time Kershaw gets on the hill, I think it's time for it's going to be must-see baseball for Dodger fans or for baseball fans because Kershaw is one of the all-time greats. Yes, he doesn't have the World Series pedigree and the playoff pedigree that people of his stature would like, obviously, but to see Kershaw doing it last night against Ohtani and Trout and the rest of the Anaheim Angels, it was nice to see the Dodgers doing a little bit of damage last night, and Kershaw, like I say, one of the all-time greats. But it was nice to see that team doing so well. And the Dodgers aren't out of it by any means. I expect them to be movers and shakers at the trade deadline to try to get in the playoff spot to win the division as well. But I think it's great for baseball the way this is all working out. I think no matter what, you'll have Yankee fans and Jays fans watching games. No matter what, you'll have them. Like we always say, we will never watch again. But no matter what, you'll watch those games. You're used to your team winning, but you're going to. You always have the naysayers saying, "I'll never watch this crap again." And you tune in every night at 5:00 Mountain Standard Time or 7:00 Eastern Standard Time or whatever the time may be. Baseball fans who are true to their teams and who watch baseball heavily, they're going to watch their games no matter what. But it's nice to see fans of other teams who don't normally get these crowds and eyeballs on their teams. It's nice to see them getting a little bit of press and publicity, but to see and hear about the emergence of Reds rookie Eli De La Cruz being at the forefront of this 10-game winning streak. It's no coincidence they bring this kid up in Cincinnati, and they're getting good crowds, 28,000 plus last night on a Tuesday night in June. Usually on a Tuesday night in June in Cincinnati, you're only getting about maybe 8,000 at the Great American Ballpark. So it's nice to see Reds fans coming out a little bit. Fair weather fans, I could care less. Go out and watch your team win. Go, because we say it here all the time, and I don't think it's a Brent original. I can't remember where I heard it originally, but nobody will pay money to see their team lose. No matter how much of a baseball dork you aren't going to pay money. You'll sit in your basement and watch the game 100%, but to actually go and spend money on tickets and spend money on beer and parking and foam fingers or whatever else you're buying there, it's nice to see people in Cincinnati going out and doing this, because I think it's good for the game of baseball right across the sport, and having these guys on Major League Baseball Network in the morning and hearing more about the Cincinnati Reds. And it's also no coincidence Joey Votto comes back and brings a little bit of stability to that team and a little bit of leadership to that team. Votto, I think, is one of the all-time great Canadian baseball players for sure. He'll be the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, probably not the Baseball Hall of Fame, but having Joey Votto back on TV, it's good. He's good for a soundbite. He's good for that team in Cincinnati. And it's nice to see the Reds Reds fan base, a long-suffering Reds fan base, getting a little bit of publicity and everything else. Will they end up being like the Pittsburgh Pirates, who only 2-3 weeks ago, everybody was saying, holy cow, they're in first place, and who knows what could happen as the season progresses, because there's 81 games left, or 85 games, 86 games left. But it's interesting to see that these guys are getting themselves a chance to put themselves in a position to maybe make a playoff spot, and getting more people involved. It might only be 2 games, 2 or 3 games at home in come October, but it's still baseball in October, and getting games into August and into September to keep the fan bases interested. I think it's great for baseball. Like I was saying about Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago, they're in the position that the Reds are in right now, and but they've lost 9 or 10 in a row, and Pittsburgh is showing who they are, because it always works out. The baseball season always works out. Your record is who you say you are, like I always say here. But it's fun to see these teams having some success, having everything going for them, and you just hope that it can continue as the summer progresses, because everybody wants to see Cinderella get something. Cinderella never wins, never ever, but it's nice to see that it's not just the Houston Astros, the New York Yankees, the LA Dodgers, and up here in Canada, the Toronto Blue Jays getting all the press. And speaking, I was just watching the Jays game here a little bit as I was preparing, making a brisket right now, by the way. I'm going to put a brisket on the smoker about half an hour ago, so hopefully it's ready to go by about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight as I record this at 11 in the morning on the first day of summer 2023. But yes, I'm excited to get that. But I was watching the Jays game a little bit, and that all-star voting thing, or how it gets done, that's got to change, because Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is rated first, or ranked first, has the most votes for a first baseman in Major League Baseball. Vladimir Guerrero is not the best first baseman in the American League, let alone in the American League East. That the way they vote for these teams, it's ridiculous. The fan base right across Canada is much bigger than any fan base, because there's just more people that are centralized with the Blue Jays, right? So that voting process has to change somehow. I think you should go with with maybe have the players vote on who gets in, and not the fans, because fans they don't stuff ballot boxes anymore as they used to back. You could go to a game and stuff the ballot box, but now it's all done on the line and on the World Wide Web. So kind of aged myself a little bit there, but it's interesting to see how that all goes. And it's I don't like it. The All-Star game, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a showcase for fans and for sponsors and everything else. But it's disheartening to see that a guy going to the All-Star game that maybe shouldn't be going, because he's having himself a rough season there in Toronto. And without Bo Bichette, you wonder where that team would be. And I think Bichette actually, it was the first guy to get 100 hits in Major League Baseball this season. And I'm not a Bo Bichette apologist, but it's interesting to see. It's good to see that he's having that kind of a season for the Jays, who are having a rough year. And they were supposed to be the World Series favorite once again 2 years in a row, and that doesn't look like that's going to come to fruition. But we'll get into that later on here at 14:20 in the morning. Will the Reds keep this up? Probably not. Will they be a playoff team? Probably. They're not going to win out the rest of the season. Will the Arizona Diamondbacks continue their great play? I think they will. They run a little bit and they can pitch it, and so they have a shot at overtaking the Dodgers in their long run that they've had. They have a great shot at overtaking the San Diego Padres and their long shot that they're going to have. Will they go out and add an arm? Will they? Because I think Marcus Stroman, I think I said it a week ago, will Marcus Stroman be who's going to get him at the trade deadline? Who's going to be able to tell the Cubs you can have this prospect, that prospect, and this player, because he's going to be the big fish in the market. He's going to opt out of his contract. He will get overpaid in the offseason by somebody, but will he be the trade chip for a team like the Baltimore Orioles? Will they get off their wallet for the last part of the season and put them over the hump, because they're only 4.5 out? Will the Reds get a guy? Will the Arizona Diamondbacks get a guy? Will the Miami Marlins, will they buck up and go and get a pitcher? Because I can't, the name of the guy is passing right now, but he's hitting 400 on the first day of summer, and it's exciting to see. So will the Marlins get some more eyeballs, and will he be on the will Major League Baseball Network? Will they have? I should have wrote down the guy's name. That's how relevant the Miami Marlins are. But will he be the guy that the hit tracker watch? Will the push for 400 watch? Because I remember back in the early 90s was, or to 89 when John Olerwood was on the big watch for him hitting 400, and that was must-see TV for Canadians right across the country here. But it was fun to watch for baseball fans. I think it's going to be a great culmination. It's going to be a great baseball finish. The way things are adding up. It's into June. It's summer now. More people are going to be watching baseball games. If you're going to a game, use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com. Cheap plug. But anyways, it's going to be fun to see what's going to happen. A little word from our sponsor at Caldera Labs and calderalab.com. Summer is right around the corner, and as the sun shines brighter, your skin deserves the utmost attention. Fortunately, our friends at Caldera Lab are here to ensure your skin is well prepared for the season ahead. Ever since I incorporated Caldera Lab into my routine, taking care of my skin has never been simpler. Their products are clinically proven and help visibly reduce wrinkles, fine lines, and signs of aging. Gain confidence and an impeccable first impression this summer. Don't miss out on joining the skincare revolution trusted by countless men. Use promo code 1420lab at calderalab.com/1420lab to enjoy an exclusive 20% off their finest products. It's done wonders for my skin, as you guys can see who's watching on YouTube and everywhere else, but it's quite easy to use. I use it on a daily basis. It works fantastically. Other people, the other podcasts of the sponsors of this, they rave about it as well. So give it a shot. Take care of your skin, and it'll keep that youthful exuberance in your mug all year long. For those of you who went on to Bodog yesterday and put down $20, you would have saw that you would be $108 richer today, because Brent's Best Bets by Bodog, we went 3 for 3. So we'll try it again here at Bodog.com. Make a play at Bodog.com, and here we go. Brent's Best Bet brought to you by Bodog. Tonight, take the Atlanta Braves to win their 8th in a row overall and push the Phillies further back in the National League wildcard spot, even with Aaron Nola, their stud, on the mound for the Phillies. Take the Mariners to beat the Yankees tonight in the Bronx, even after a win last night. For the Yankees, their punches offense will once again show their true colors, and I have zero confidence in Johnny Brito being the guy to get the Yankees to win 2 in a row. He's on the mound tonight for the Yankees. And lastly, take Sonny Gray and the Minnesota Twins to beat the Boston Red Sox tonight at Target Field in Minneapolis. Make a play at Bodog today and put down $20 and win yourself $106.91. Click on our link and get a $400 sign-up bonus at Bodog today. Make a play at Bodog, but be sure to play responsibly tonight. Anyways, thank you for joining us at 14:20 in the morning. It's going to be a good day here at World Headquarters. The sun's kind of coming out a little bit cold for the first day of summer, but we got the brisket going. Like I said, should be a lot of fun. Tomorrow night, Dave and I are back. We're going to have a Hall of Fame discussion about many different sports, many different athletes. Got a couple of guests coming on that are going to have a round table discussion, so it should be a lot of fun on the regular 1420 Pop Sports Bar podcast, brought to you by Bodog and SeatGeek and Caldera Lab and everybody else. So make sure you support our sponsors, because they support us and help us with this crazy venture we got going on here at 1420 World Headquarters. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Remember to have a great day, and remember, it doesn't matter where you are, it's who you're with. We'll talk to you tomorrow. You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.